Hi guys, it's Belle here and welcome back for day 4 of ephemera Snacks and Stash 2025, hosted by Louisa Heinzel and Barbara over at 49 Dragonflies. As always, links to their amazing channels will be down below. I'm sure you will follow them, but if you don't, do head over there and do so. And I am working with pieces sent to me by the lovely Tiff from Amethyst Raven. Again, links to her always down below. So go check her out. We sent each other a little parcel of snacks and stash. So I'll be working with some of those pieces. And today it is a throwback Thursday, and we're going all the way back to the first year, 2021, I believe. And it is postcard and hand or machine stitching. Now, if you're new here, hello and welcome. I hope you stick around and enjoy my videos. Do check them out. I have quite a few videos on my channel. But what you may not know, but many of you will, is I love adding stitching. I'm a cross stitcher. I love adding stitching. I particularly love using a sewing machine. And it is very rare for me to have a piece that has not got some sort of stitching on it. So I really wanted to challenge myself with this particular video. I didn't just want to pull out my machine and do a little bit of zigzag or straight stitch. And I didn't just want to do my simple cross stitch that I will often do a few pieces. So first of all, let's pull out. This is my tray. I have been pulling out a few bits and pieces from what Tiff sent me, and I'm keeping them in this tray. There's lots more because she sent me way more than you're meant to, although I also sent her a little bit more than you're meant to, so we both think the same way. And I pulled out a few pieces that I'm going to be pulling out throughout these makes alongside whatever I need from the box. And these are what I have pulled out that I know I definitely want to work on, and you've already seen something. So I got Tiff sent me quite a few magazine pages. She works with a lot of recycled pieces or things you would throw away. She's very good at making something beautiful out of those. And out of her 2 magazine pages, this was the first I chose. It's a piece from Greece, a whole article on Greece. I've actually got, where is the rest of the page? Oh, the rest of the page was kind of here. And you can see I've done some very basic stitching on here. I've made a sort of faux sun, done a little bit of 2 different colours in the sea and outlined some mountains. The mountains was a bit, I took some sort of artistic, creative things on there because it's actually a big mountain with only like one other, but I made it look different. So that was my first attempt. And then I decided there was this beautiful piece from, again, a magazine. I don't know if I've got it here, but it was like, it's all about the forest or something like that. Oh, it was from this bit. So this was from this kind of bit. It all matched up. So I just took it from there. Oh gosh, now I've put that away. And let me try and get this up. I've done some French knots here. On this, I'm hoping, yes, you can see it. I've just done 3 lines of running stitch on there just to give some texture. And I've used 2 different colours of green to give a pop in here. I love how this one turned out. I've left this plain because I want to do stuff with it on the postcard. Then I pulled out some bits from my stash. So this is a Tim Holtz photograph, and I used a technique from Crafted by Tony. Oh my gosh, this might have been a video 2 years ago, so I don't even know if I can find it. If I can, I'll leave it down below, but she was talking about aging the photographs. So I didn't add this to it. That was already on there. I love this. It looks kind of creepy. So I did some more stitching. I've done a little tree here, and then I just added some random lines. I just wanted to give this more of a gothic feel. And then my favourite and my final, which you've already had a sneaky peek of. This is an actual vintage photo from the 1930s. It was originally in an album. It's got writing and everything that says mother there. And I just wanted to make this pretty. These ladies look like they're on holiday. They're looking at their best. We can see like trees and things in the background. That might even be the sea. I don't know. But they look like they're at their best. This is obviously mother with her children. Because like I said, it says mother and it said something else there. It says Broadwalk, I think. And I've done some lazy daisy stitches, some French knot clusters and some leaves. I love how this one looks. And we are going to work with those guys. Now, I also just cut some plain pieces of card, but also what Tiff had in hers, this is like a faux, it's like a blank card she must have got with an order or something. So I thought this is nice and matte, so that'll be easy to stamp on. This is glossy, so we can use that for something. I also have some actual tea dyed index cards. I also pulled some more things. Like I had this one, that'd make an amazing postcard, but I didn't work with that one. I know I've got more of these, so I'll have to check for those because I might want another one of those. We'll see. Now, the first thing I want to do is I want to match these postcards with their backing so I know what's going where. And I think this might make a mini postcard. So I think I would like to cut this down to size. And I think it would work really well on this vintage one. So we're going to cut that down to size. This is much bigger and I want that to size. So this one will work for that. I think this one, I'm going to use what Tiff sent me. Again, it's going to have to be cut to size, but that's okay. And I think I might try and find another one of those index cards. Let me have a look. Okay, I did. So that's going to work with that. I will put that back away. So we have our 4 bases and we need to start trimming things to size. And I may also ink some up. So I'm going to use the whole piece for this. This is going to be my whole postcard. So let me do this. I had a lot of fun like with these, doing this on the paper, guys. I really did. As I said, I like to cross stitch anyway, but I think next year I would definitely like to learn more embroidery stitches. And I got in, probably last year, I really got into slow stitch on fabric. I feel like that's going to be all right on there like that. This needs to be cut though. So it can be harder because depending on what you're working on, so like these magazine pieces, they're very, very thin. Now, you could back it on something. I think this is just a tad wider. I'm going to take a smidge off. You could back it on something to make it sturdier before you stitch it, but just be aware of that if you're going to try and do like slow stitch techniques. But I would say if you've got magazines and things, I think that is the best way to maybe start having a go. If you've never done it before, don't go straight for vintage photos or your favorite pieces. Start slow stitching a little bit on some magazines just till you get the kind of technique. Let me move you over. So we need to be inking now because I don't like how white in particular this one is. Those two are vintage, so that's all right. And I may even ink this one up a little bit. So I don't, well, I might need both sides. We're going to wet this. And now I've got lots of wet on the table. So I need to dry that off before I put my ink on it. Hold on. Yeah. So grab some old magazines, guys. Use my ground espresso. And just sit down and let your stitching wander. You can be inspired, like I was, by the actual pieces and have a look at other leaves or things like that. You can just stitch like I have certain pieces. Obviously you don't have to stitch the whole thing, just whatever comes. If it's just crosses and lines, fine, start with that Whatever sort of comes to your mind. So if you haven't tried it before, I do highly recommend it. So we've got that one now, which is good. Need to do the back of this one too. And just give it a go. With this one, do you know what I want? I think I want some forest moss. Postcards are normally brown, but I'm wondering if I want a little bit of this and then some walnut stain, and we kind of blend it together. Oh, that was far too much. What am I doing? A bit more here. Okay. That forest moss comes out very yellowy green on here. I think it's because I'm used to working with it on a different kind of card or paper, so it always comes out more of a grey green, but on this one it's a bit more, you know, different. And just because I don't want to waste it, I'm going to bring it in on here as well for the more gothic-y one. I mean, I think I'd rather have black, actually, thinking about it, and I don't want to waste that either, so I'm just going to bring in this card and use it up on here because I really don't want to waste it. Okay, get my gloves back on. So yeah, I highly recommend it if you haven't tried it. And the Tim Holtz dolls, the large head ones, if you know what I'm talking about, they're really good to do it on. I've done it on those before, where you can kind of stitch on their clothing and like give them details on their hats. So I've dried those off, and I just wanted to show you what I meant. This was from ephemera last year, and you can see this is one of the Tim Holtz dolls I'm talking about, the head ones, and I've stitched on her clothing and put French knots on her. So I have done stitching on that, but not so much on photos and things. So now let's get on with the postcards. So this was for that one was for this one. Now what we have to do is I'm going to turn all these over, so that is that way. Oh no, this was for this one, wasn't it? Do you know what, this looks more gothic now I'm looking at it. And we can trim that down to size, or I can put some back in. Yeah, that works better with that. Okay, so we need this side, we need that side, and we need either side for these two, this side and that side. And I'm going to pull out some stamps. I have a couple of stamp sets I'm going to use. I have this one, which is crafted by Tony, Postcard CBT0018, and I want it because it actually has postcard here, it's got postcard there, so I want to use it. And I think I'm mainly going to be working with my stays on. I might also bring in, I was going to bring on the green, we'll see, we'll see. And I need my bigger acrylic thing. Okay, so this is my vintage ladies. So I'm going to put this on the back. It says a postcard, so I'm literally going to turn this into a bit of a postcard. We are going to decorate on the front a little bit as well. I'm going to be honest with you guys, this challenge, this ephemera, is really challenging me. Because what we're doing for this challenge is not how I tend to work. Because of how my creative brain works, this is not how I tend to work. I'm going to stamp it off on here. I always, as you can see on this pad, I always do a stamp off first, because I just think it warms, especially as I haven't used this bit of this stamp set before. It just tends to help warm up the stamp set. I mean, Tony stamps always give me, oh my gosh, the most beautiful, they always give me the most beautiful impression. Anyway, Let's do it on here as well. But when I haven't used a stamp, doesn't matter who it's by, I always warm it up by trying it first. Put that there. Perfect. So that is those two, just that bit of the stamp. And that is my Versamark Vintage Sepia. Let's try and clean this a little bit. And then we're going to try the other postcard back for the next two. So it's these sides. Let's have a look, because there's two other type of postcard thing, but I might want to use one on the front of something. So I think I'm going to use this one. And again, I haven't used this one before. I'm thinking this will work well with the green one, which is now this one. This is our more, going to be my more gothic one. So let's do that. And again, I'm just going to stamp it off because I haven't used this one before. Warm up your stamps. And I don't have one of those stamping platforms, so if there is an issue, I can't really often place it down in exactly the right way. Love it, love it. It gives me gothy vibes, not gothy, but you know, grungy vibes. And one that I have used before is the one that says postcard. Now I was going to use green because it's on the tree, but I'm wondering if that won't stand out enough on this ink. Let's stamp it onto here and see what I think. And if I don't like it, actually that could work. It could work. Let's just do it. Let's just do it. Put it over to the side like so. A little bit different. We're doing it different colours. Why not? So I'm getting the ink off there too. And that is my Arondike lettuce. I don't have a lot of them, so I use what I do have. I also want to put some actual stamps and things on the back. And sometimes you get lines on the back of a postcard. So I have this. It's just some corrugated packaging. I'm going to ink up some of these lines, and I'm using my VersaFine for this one. I don't know how it's going to come out, but we're going to go for it. Do you know what? I really like it. I really like it. Yeah, I do. I really like that. We're just going to leave them on there on that one. We're going to do it on here as well. And again, I think I want it in the VersaFine. I like the way the brown works. Yeah, we're going to put it across here. Also, that means that when this is in a journal, you do have lines to work on. That went completely like spiffy, but that's okay. Let's try and really line this up on this one. Let's try and line it up so it's straighter. Oh, I just love that so much. So if it wasn't for the fact that it said stitching, you could literally just get a load of index cards and do this to the back of it. I think actually on this one, I want some over the other side. You know where you normally have the address, but I'm doing less. So I'm lifting up so we get it like that, which I kind of like too. Okay, that turned out really well. But yeah, if it wasn't for the stitching part, you could literally make a load of these and have these in your stash. Now, I also want to add, I've got, where is it? I've got Address and Signatures by Tony, CBT0013. Oh, we had this beautiful postcard one there too. That would have worked really well. And this one. Doesn't matter. And I am going to put some addresses on here. I'm wondering if I could line up like one of these addresses with the lines on there. That's what I'm wondering, because I think that would work. Yeah, that would work really well. Okay, so let's do that. But I'm going to do this in black, and I put that sheet away and I'm going to need it. I'm going to do this bit in black. Here we go. It's my little thing. Oh my gosh, I put my ink pad down on here. It actually adds, because I think this is going to be my Gothic one, so that's fine. But let's move those and let's try not to put the ink pad on things. Let's see. Again, I haven't used this one. I've used other ones in this kit, but I haven't used this one, and I am trying to line this up on here. Doesn't have to be perfect. Oh, I'm so happy. Obviously, you could handwrite. If you don't have these stamp sets, use what you've got, guys. You might have other postcard type stamp sets or other ones with signatures and things on them. Use whatever you have. Don't, you know, don't think you have to just go out and buy new ones. I just happen to have these, and so I want to use them. I enjoyed that so much. I want to use one on here as well now. And I want to use different ones. Oh, I'm having so much fun. The front is where I'm going to struggle. Yeah, I need to really do that bottom one. In all honesty, my Stays On stamp is quite a new one, but I'm wondering if I left the lid off because it's dried out really quickly. So, and it doesn't normally, it normally lasts me ages. So I've just ordered a new one and I'm waiting for that to turn up. Right, so we've done those two. I definitely want it on here, but I don't know if I want one on here. I might put something else on there. So let's have a look. I like that one says Cornwall. What's this one for? This is for Greece. I like this one. Let's use this one. My Greek postcard. So yeah, if it wasn't for the stitching fact, you could definitely just make a load of these. Tea dye or ink up your index cards. Oh, I love it so much. And then have these ready to use for different things. So that actually says from Belfast. That's from where I was born. Around Belfast. So, not in Belfast, but near it. So here, I didn't want to necessarily add one on here. I've used that one. Kind of like the postcard. Yeah. Do you know what? I'm not going to add one on there. I'm not going to do that. There is also, if you have the postcard one, there is also some addresses on there. That one actually looks quite good. Oh, I like that one. That gives me a bit of Gothic vibes. I've really got into adding stamping to pieces this year. I used to just use certain things like texture stamps. I love texture stamps and things, but I wasn't adding as much stamping. And this year, especially in the latter part of the year, I've definitely, I think as I built up my stamp set, that I've been adding a lot more stamping to pieces. So we've got that. Now, the other thing you need on a postcard is you need some stamps. I also have this one. I wanted to use some of these, like it says airmail and things like that. I might add some of these on there. I wanted to use some actual stamps, so I pulled out some stamps from my stash that I have. Where are my stamps? Let me grab them all. Okay, so I've got a selection. Now this is actually from another stamp pad that I had. So it's not an actual stamp. But again, if you don't have stamps, if you don't have a lot of stamps, there are definitely, I'm trying to see as well if on any of these ones, yeah, there's like little mini stamps on there and things. You can definitely get stamp kits. Depends. Or save your stamps from any letters that come through. Now I was thinking this one, because it's quite big, I was thinking this would work really well on here on my more gothic-y one. And then I want to have a look at this dark blue. Kind of love the dark blue, and maybe another colour behind it. Got this purpley kind of colour. Yeah, I like how that looks. So we're going to move this. This is my really vintage one, and I just think a little blue stamp there is going to work so well. This is my green one. I did pull out a mushroom because I was thinking that might work really well on here. Might be able to tear it as well. We also have this one. I don't know where it's from, but it's got like green on it actually. So that could work. Got a little bird as well. No, maybe just that one. Okay, I don't want the mushroom one. I really don't know where that's from, so I'm having a look. Do you know what? It looks Greek to me. And this was our Greece one. But, oh well. And on this one, we could have just another little green one. We've got this cute little bird one there. I kind of like that. I can't remember what that one was for. That must be for Greek too. Okay, so we're going to use these. So I am going to get these glued down. Okay, so they are all stamped down. And now I think I want more. Stamping on the back. And I'm just looking at this again. This is the CBT0024 departure that I have. I haven't used these yet. They're lovely fresh stamps. They won't be in a minute. And I've got this one that says received. So 1994, 12th September 94. So I feel like I might want that on the Greek one, because it just looks like, obviously, you know, it looks like it's arrived. I think I want to use that again because I really like it. And I think I'm going to use it over onto here. But I'm going to have it at a slight angle, I think. Yeah, like that. Okay, cool. Where's my wet wipe? Thing is, this is the Versamark Black Cherry. So once I've had that on here, it doesn't come off. But then it doesn't affect any other stamping for me either. I'm going to have, what do we have? We have airmail on here. We have another little circle actually, which I think I want to use. Let's put the stamp on there. I think I want to use it over here, because we've got one. Let's use another one. And again, where's my stamp off pad? Just in the corner there, which I like. Just having a lot of fun with these guys. Oh, well, the one from Greece, it has to have airmail on it, doesn't it? I mean, come on. It's come through the air. Now, what do I want? I was wondering down here. I think I want that in red too. I might add some more, but, oh my gosh, for now, so I have my finger, stamp that off. I'm going to have that here. Oh, yes, I like that so much. But for now, we're going to leave it like that because we're going to get started on the actual front. So let's get started on the front. The first one I want to do is Greece and the ladies. So we have this, and in the stash that I want that the wonderful Tiff sent me, I had that, but I felt like there was something else or was that in mine? I wanted to add this. I think I wanted a circle as well. We'll pull that out as well. Okay, maybe not there. Was it in mine? I feel like I have some vintage. Is that my vintage Greek? I think so. Book page. So I wanted that. That's from Tiff. And for my ladies, I'm going to do something vintage map wise. Oh, I know there was something else. Is it at the bottom here? Tiff sent me some of this, which was actually from when she went to Greece. I think she said Zante. And the blue picks up the blue in the water here. It is quite bright, so I might have to ink this up. But I wanted to use some of this. Let's have a look. This is going to go like this, and I want some Greek writing. Let's just... Again, in case you're new here, I actually spent quite a chunk of my childhood living in Cyprus. So Greece and the Greek people and mythology have quite a place in my heart. So whilst it wasn't Greece, it was Greek Cypriots. So I kind of love that on there. I do want some of this. See what I want. I love this little boat actually. I might have to cut that out and use it. Oh, we don't need too much of it. Okay, I'm going to kind of do this. Olives. I will say I really don't like olives. I know, shocking considering. But I think it's when I was a child in Cyprus, like some of our neighbours had grew olives to sell. And we would get paid like silly. It was like, because, you know, you're kids and it's pocket money for you that you're just helping out. You know, it wasn't like a job. That we would get paid sort of pence to help pick the olives and things. And I think I just ended up really feeling like, oh no, I don't want to ever see another olive again in my life. Although I love Mediterranean food, you just can't get better. It's just so fresh and beautiful. Do I want this? I think I want this. Okay, so I want this. It's too bright, so let's bring in a little bit of ground espresso because it is a bit bright. And this looks kind of vintage. It almost, I mean, it's not, but it gives me 1970s vibes. I don't know why. It reminds me of those postcards. And the writing is vintage. So I want to bring in that vintage feel. Well, not as brand new as if you've just been there, even though it says the 90s on the back, I think, that it was received. I don't know. Let's not get too bogged down. I really can. That's how my brain thinks. So I don't want to be doing that. But there we go. Okay, there we go, like so. And I want another little bit of the writing down here, just to carry it through. So let's tear that. So we can have it, because we see it at the bottom of the image. So I'm going to have that there. Love it. So we're going to have that. I will be inking around everything. Then we are going to stick this onto here. Now, obviously, there is a lot of thread on the back of here. So I think one of the best ways to stick it down is I'm going to use double-sided sticky tape. Okay, so In all honesty, I prefer not using double-sided sticky tape on projects, and you can just use glue. But I think that for this, it might have worked better just because of how bulky the stitching was. And I'm actually going to turn this over and really press that down. I don't want to do it on the top because I don't want to pull any of the stitches and that. So let's trim that bit. I'm going to ink around it all anyway. Then we're going to bring this in the Greek place. I'm going to pull it over. It doesn't matter if I cover some of that stitching up. It really doesn't. It helps blend the piece together anyway. So that's okay. Let's bring in the glue. Bring in the glue. We've still got the other postcards to do, so I feel like I need to hurry up. But that's okay. Like so. I did want, what did I want? The boat. I mean, we already have a boat on there, but we have that. Now I'm going to ink around this and help again, just pull that in. And I have this, which was a piece from the magazine, and I want to use that. Oh my gosh, I've got stuff all over me. And I did want to use this. I'm thinking of stamping or something on here. This is one of the circles that Tiff gave me. I thought that might look quite good on here. You could almost put a stamp on there. And then we're going to bring in Incredible Grease from the magazine. That really needs to be trimmed. I am no good at cutting straight. That's as straight as it's going to get. So I wanted that, and I think I do want to back that. But I'm wondering of having it kind of down here a little bit. That really is not straight. Oh my gosh. I know it doesn't matter, but my eye is catching it and it's going to annoy me, to be honest. We could put that down there. I kind of like that down there. Still not inked up enough. And obviously you could then stitch around these too. I think that would look quite nice to have stitching around these, but I've already stuck it down. It's Incredible Grease either side, so that's good. I'm just wondering if I have, hold on, that's a bit thingy, I don't want it to stick yet. But I'm wondering if I have like, no, we're not going to do that. Sorry, I was thinking about backing it on something. Incredible Grease. And then we definitely want this. Bring that in a bit more. Circle on there. Don't know what I'm going to put in the circle yet. So while I'm thinking about that, I'm going to move on to the next one, because if it's not finished, that's okay. I'm going to move on to the next one. And I was thinking this one, which is our lovely ladies. To be honest, they don't need much more than that, because I think that looks beautiful as it is. I was going to add a few other bits. Let me use double-sided tape on this again. Okay, there we go. So that is on there. What I will say is double check. If you're doing something like this with the postcards in two pieces and you have to join them together, double check, guys, because I almost put this on upside down. Now, is it a huge deal? Probably not. But I'm just saying, be very aware of that when you are doing that. This can get stuck on here too, and this can get stuck in here. So let's stick those on there, and then we can decorate the fronts. Okay guys, so these are all stuck on now. I love this one so much, and we're going to work on these ones now. I might work on my gothic-y one first, because my head tends to go in that direction, and I wanted to pull in one of the moths. Now I've even done some stitching on this acrylic moth with some shiny metallic thread. Also have some of these kind of trees. They're cut out of alcohol inked paper, the branches. I thought that would look quite well. Here. Need something here. What do I need? Maybe some lace, actually. Pull it in like from the other things. Now, is this a postcard per se? No. But let's not be too literal, which is funny me saying that because I really do struggle sometimes with not making things realistically, like in my head. Can be a problem. Yeah, I think I want to bring in a little bit of this as well. Yep. Let's ink this up. Yeah, let's ink this up. Layering. That's where I feel more comfortable. So I think that already looks really good. But here's what I'm going to do. And it will go through the other side. I'm actually going to pull in some machine stitching, guys. Because we don't have any. Do we need it? No, of course we don't need it. Do I want it? Yes, of course I do. I'm going to actually pull in some black thread as well. So that we'll get both kinds of stitching on here. I want it for the moth. We're going to stitch through the moth's body. Hold on. Yeah, we're going to stitch through the moth's body to stitch it onto the postcard, and then I will glue any bits that I need to glue. And do you know what I realized as I stitched that on? I had changed my sewing machine thread to white, and so now my moth has a white body. However, that's okay, because I can just come on with my black soot ink and darken it on the moth. And you can see it through the other side. It goes through the address. I don't mind that. I also feel like this needs splatters. So we're going to put it to the side. I also feel like it needs a word of some sort. Definitely needs a word of some sort. I thought I had some put aside. Okay, well, I'll come back to that when I grab that. So that needs to go to one side. That's finished. Here, let's do some layering. I love to layer. I want to put, I have a mushroom. Why don't I grab these things? I have a mushroom that I wanted to put on there. I think it blends really, really well. But obviously we don't want it blending too much with the whole postcard. I'm wondering about that up there or down here. Then we can move the mushrooms over. I don't think I like it. I do think I like this. We could have the field label bit, or even just that actual piece there, so that it's kind of there. It makes me think that someone's gone to the rainforest or somewhere like the Eden Project, and they've you know, maybe they're really into their nature and stuff, and they're sending a postcard about their trip, obviously, to a loved one or something like that, obviously, because that's what you normally do. Or maybe even a work colleague. Maybe they're sending one to a work colleague and they're like, yeah, we saw this. And the work colleague's like, oh, wow, that's amazing. Now I definitely need to go there too. Yeah, I like that on there too. And it's a ticket, so it brings in that idea of travel. I like that. Let's glue that down onto there so it's glued. Come on. My glue just wants to play up. Like so. We're going to have the mushroom as well, so that's good. Let's glue all of this down. So yeah, rainforest. I feel like this would also be good if we had some stamping on here, but I don't know what kind of stamping yet. We're going to have the mushrooms like that. Field label will go up the side. Do you know what? I kind of like it just like that. Let's have a look if there's anything else. I do kind of want to bring a number in because we've used numbers on the other, one of the other makes. So I kind of like the idea of bringing a number in somewhere. Oh, I like that. That's going there too. Yeah, much more in my element when I'm doing things like this. Like so. We're going to put the field label down. This is just such a pretty picture. And our mushrooms. I definitely feel like the mushrooms need to be edged a little bit on something. There's a little bit of black soot going around it. They're going to go there, like so. Do we think it needs anything else other than that? We do have some plants. No. Do you have this plant that we could bring in behind? Yes, I like that. Let's just ink around it in some ground espresso. The mushrooms are in black soot, but we'll ink around this in ground espresso. And I think, again, I always feel like it needs a word because, as I've said before, so sorry if I'm repeating myself, but I know there are some new people watching. A piece just doesn't feel finished to me until it has a word on it. It just doesn't. So I think that's what I'm looking for when I'm looking at all of this. And I am also wondering about some thread, but I don't want black, but I have my brown here. I actually have some really nice kind of vintage green as well. It's a really pale green though, so I'm wondering about the brown. To be honest, you could put it up near the top too, but I feel like I want it where the mushrooms are. Yep, that feels very me. And I think that's what I've been missing. I am really struggling this year, and it's because, like I said, how my creative mind works. I think I just don't do mass making ephemera. It's just not me. I've tried to do more of that in the last few years where I make ephemera, but I tend to just make it in the one style. So I'll make a load of, I don't know, gothic-y types, like a recent video I just did, my Tracy Fox design team. I'll do something like that. But I really, really struggle to make mass ephemera, because for me, when I'm making a journal, I like my journal to be completely 100% cohesive. I want to bring on this little brown arrow I just had it in my stash there. I like it to be 100% cohesive. So normally when I'm making a journal, I will make almost every single piece as I'm making that journal, because I want it all to look like it's all come from the same journal, which it is, you know. So mass making for me is just a real problem, because that's not how my creative brain works. And I have tried, but it is an issue for me. So this year's Defemember is really, really challenging me on that aspect. Because if I don't know what journal it's going into, I just don't feel as inspired. So I like that one too. I really don't think they need a lot. But what I do have that I saw is it's quite big, but I have this kind of Tim Holtz flower. I feel like that's too big, which is a shame. I'm sure I've got other flowers. Also had this big butterfly, but I mean, that's cute, but is it too much? I can hear you guys almost saying, oh yeah, we think it's a little bit too much. Just a tad. I do have little butterflies. That's cute. Okay, where is... I thought I had another one. I do. It's a little brown one, though. Maybe the purple one will work on there. I wonder if I can get the brown butterfly on here. Oh, yes. Yes. So, we're going to get the butterfly on there. So, yeah, I don't know. Let me know down below. I know quite a lot of you like pre-making ephemera, so you just have it in your box and you grab it. But, I don't know. It's just, like I said, it's a problem for me because I like everything to look so cohesive. I have some vintage map that I wanted to use. I thought that would work. Oh, I had some more Greek there. I could have used that. Let me have a look. I know I've got more vintage map. I don't like that one. This is some scrapbook paper. I don't like that. There is that. I also have this beautiful floral paper. I almost want to do like something down the side of there. Just like a strip. Let me have a look. Just a strip down the side. No, do you know what? As this is kind of mass making to see how things look, and then you can adapt them for books, I'm going to leave that like that. Let me grab some words and think about this one. Okay, so I got some words. For this one, I found these. It is in silver, but it says The Adventure Begins, which I quite like, and also it says Collector, which I quite like as well. But... so I changed my mind because I realised they were in silver, so I got the gold ones. I don't know where these are from. I'm sorry, I've had them ages. But I love that it says See the World. And I feel like that is what I want to put on here. I'm just trying to work out where I want it to go because obviously we've got the stitching. I do kind of like it there. I kind of like it down there. There's a lot going on here, but it also works there. We're going to put it there. So I've got See the World for this one. I really don't know how I'm going to end up finishing the Greek one, but that's okay. Where did I have it? Here. I don't know. You guys will have seen, but it's going here now. That's where that one's going. Here for the Gothic-y one, I've got Stranger Versions. This is from a Tim Holtz, his Gothic, his creepy clippets and stuff. I'm trying to use up some of my sheets, so I didn't want to grab out another one. Oh, I like that across the stitching. Yeah, I do kind of like that across the stitching. It works really well because although I did that, I'm not sure I was 100% happy with it, so it'll work across there. Yep. I like that. I've realized I haven't glued that down either, so let's glue the little branch down. Come on, glue. Sorry, you have to keep seeing me fighting my glue. I don't want to completely replace it just yet. Don't know about grease. But here I have the Tim Holtz rub-ons, the tiny text, TH 93695. I love these. Many of you will know, again, if you've been around my channel ages, that these are one of my most loved items. And I want to put, I don't know if I want to put The Adventure Begins, which I quite like, or Happy Together. Oh, I like both of those. I want The Adventure Begins. That's what I want. Although I also like Happy Together, and I like this font as well. And yeah, I just don't know with the Greek one what I want to put there. So, but that's okay. I don't have to finish everything. Oh, I like this one so much. I'm hoping, because, you know, these photos were just in a general stash of stuff that I got ages ago, and I'm hoping that somehow I'm helping these memories be remembered, because they're just kind of sitting there not doing much of anything. I wanted to bring in, because these are all my little bits of my rub-ons that I've cut out and I keep now in this little tin so that I can actually use them. And yeah, so I'm going to use one of these rub-ons on this here. So I think that will work as well. On there, it just finishes that bit off. And again, I know they're not supposed to be finished, but I don't know. I just don't know. I'm struggling, guys. I'm really struggling. And I know that Louisa and Barbara always say, just do what makes you happy. You can change the challenge any way you want to. But I also want to try and show you guys how to mass make some things as well. I don't know. I'm too in my head. I don't know. So it's day 4. The prompt was postcard and stitching, machine or hand. I absolutely love how the backs of these look. I honestly think I could add more stamping. I may do that. And then, yeah, we have this piece, which is my favourite piece of hand stitching. I love that. That is an original 1930s vintage photograph. We have this, which this piece and this was all sent to me by the wonderful Tiff, and I need to put something in there. But I feel like I want stitching, and now I can't because that's on the back. So there's that. Then we have this piece that was also sent by the lovely Tiff. And then I've used some of my bits and bobs, and there's hand stitching, including on here the texture. I think I really love this one too. Not as much as the vintage photo, but I do love it. And imagine getting that. You'd love that postcard, wouldn't you? And then we have my lovely Gothic one with a Tim Holtz photo, some distressing, which is a technique from Crafted by Tony using crackle glaze and alcohol inks. I've done lots of different kinds of hand stitching. I've added some moth and lace and some words, and again, I love the back of these. So they're basically finished. I will probably come on with more stamping, maybe some splattering, because I love to do that, and I need something there. And I don't know what I want on there yet, but I will figure it out. And when I do, you're going to see it with all the pieces together. So I hope you enjoyed this one, guys. I hope you've been inspired to have a go at doing some slow stitching on some things that you may have, whether it's photographs, Tim Holtz photographs, magazine images, book images, whatever it is. Just remember, the more fragile the paper, the more you may need to back it. And you will really have to think about the stitching techniques. Like French knots need two holes that are quite close together to do. So on the more fragile like this, it can be quite difficult because your paper can rip. And actually, I don't know if you can see here, but part of my photo did rip doing a lazy daisy. So I actually just sort of put some tape on the back of that and some paper, so I was able to complete the lazy daisy stitch. So that's it for now. I'm going to be back tomorrow with another ephemera. Actually, there's 2 videos going up tomorrow because I am also part of Tracy's collaboration for her December Daily Advent. So you will get 2 videos tomorrow. So thank you so much for watching. Please do like, comment, share and subscribe if you haven't already. Let me know which is your favourite one and whether or not you've done hand stitching on something like this before rather than just on fabric. And I'll be back again soon with another video. Wherever you are in the world, guys, wherever you are in the world, I hope you're having lots and lots of crafty fun. Bye for now.